music no one can ever refuse it. Pulsating, vibrating, reggae, reggae, reggae. Very sky, rock, steady, mental, a quadrillion, a cool minute.
Yeah, so good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is the Real Talk
Good morning,
podcast.
I'm the beautiful jewel of the day. It's a morning still.
Wonderful.
Yes, and so today it's Tuesday and it's Indigenous Outlook, and we have with us Cynthia Ellis, aka Queen Labafo, and she's here to tell us of her new promotion as an OAS representative for the Garifuna Nation. So good morning, Cynthia, and we have with us also Flavius, our co-host. So good morning, Cynthia. Back to you, Flavia.
Yes, but you haven't been here for a little while. But
That's right. That's why I never really get with the technology.
We're so happy to have you, you know.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
It's so wonderful to have you.
Thank you.
So I see you have this. Are you using your phone?
Yes. You want me to turn it the other way?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. Okay, good.
So we see more of you. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful.
All right,
wonderful. Wonderful.
With the Nafi, that's how we say good morning in Garifuna.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's wonderful to be with you today. It's a very busy morning, but I pause to take time to share, you know?
Yeah, man, we need, I mean, we need to set up something more, you know, a bigger thing shortly. But this now is just for you to
catch up, too?
Yeah, but just to tell us about this new prestigious appointment.
You're too funny, Flavius. I am the same old me, you know, the same me.
Yeah, but we have to know where you're up to. You're a person that is up to a whole lot of stuff.
That's right. Well, let's put it like this. It's through the grace of God and the spirit of my ancestors. I give them all the credit. I'm just being obedient and doing their work, you know?
Yeah.
And
you see, we have up your our backdrop now have up all your stuff.
Oh, you are too much. Well,
expert representative of indigenous peoples for the Caribbean.
Oh my goodness, Flavius, you make me blush.
Tell us what this is all about.
Well, this is all about you and me and us, meaning that there's no way I could get this recognition without the support, help, and encouragement of people like Real Stuff Broadcast, you know, podcasts, because
I appreciate that.
I have to give credit where it's due, because your recognition that spans around the Caribbean and the world has brought attention to the voiceless, you know?
Yes.
So I have to give honor and thanks, and I'm very humbled. And this is the first time I'm going to be speaking about this recognition. And in receiving the recognition, I say what I always say, which is I am a vessel, I'm an instrument for all those who came before me, all those who are with me, behind me, you know? So I always say that I am a facilitator and a focal point for many others. And I think that is why I was selected, because people have been looking at how I've been a champion and promoter of many people. I don't go into any room by myself, usually. The only reason that my leaders are not here on this program is because, you know, it's kind of sudden for them. But I have a delegation of 5 leaders with me as we speak, right? And I had to go hide in a corner so that I could speak with you without being interrupted, you know, because we're moving. So the Organization of American States, as the name suggests, is a very significant entity in the Americas, which looks out for the well-being of peoples of the Americas, North, Central, and South, to promote and increase the quality of life of our people. And what is beautiful about the Organization of American States is that without being opinionated, they are prepared to listen to what the concerns are of people who are not usually heard from. And obviously, they have seen that I am someone who promotes the voice of the voiceless, open doors for the people who have not been recognized to walk through spaces, like when we had the gathering in Dominica of the United Maroons and indigenous people.
We're not hearing. Something went wrong, Flavius? Seems like something went wrong. Yeah, Flavius, can you hear me? Flavius, you're muted.
Yeah, it looks like our internet went.
Okay.
I'm trying to call her. I'm not getting her.
Wow.
So our internet went. That is one thing the world have to try and fix as quickly as they can, because that is one of the things that making all the smaller countries smaller and poorer and whatever. We don't have any stable internet, and that is very important. Very important. Oh, but Queen Lubafu is now the expert representative of indigenous peoples for the Caribbean through the Organization of American States. And they have given her a 3-year appointment. One of the things we're going to ask her is basically what will she be doing, and who will she be talking to? We get a good picture of that. We understand better what is the end game? You know, what she aiming to, or what the program aims to achieve.
Yeah, and I guess so. I think with the OAS, I think they do a whole lot of loans
Okay,
to people are grants, basically, not loans, but grants. I think there are a whole lot of grants involved
so
in
that
that
means that
organization.
they're bringing some cash to the
Yeah,
system.
yeah.
Okay, that sounds very very good. Don't ask me if indigenous people don't want cash, for projects and all of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that should really, help them in a direction or path that they want to take.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Because,
Because what
yeah,
I found out since we started Indigenous Outlook, not saying that we are the cause or even the catalyst, but it's a fact that Indigenous people have become more prominent and are coming out more. So anything that can be done to keep them on this upward trajectory, especially financial, will be great. Will be wonderful.
yes, and you see that, oh, Queen Labofa, oh, she really expressed her feelings, about
Oh
the
yeah.
real podcast and what it has done.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We are really
And
really appreciate that. Yeah. But the
in
fact
aiding the
is,
process.
the fact is that we have been doing some work, some good work. We have been doing some good work. I appreciate, I really appreciate somebody coming on and saying that. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. But like I say, the indigenous people all over the place now, it's like them finding them footing. Them having them conferences and them having them seminars and all different type of things. And they have a voice to be heard. So I hope that we can play our part, play a good part into it. And really, it's really wonderful.
Yeah, and on the other hand, too, like, see that what the wider society is recognizing in the input of the indigenous people or what they have done in the past.
Oh yeah, they
Because
can't help that now because before it was kind of hidden away. But with the increase in technology and the presentations and all these things, more people are hearing about it. More we'll call ordinary people. People would never normally give indigenous people a second look or a second listen. Are hearing them now. And that is so wonderful.
I think one aspect of that is because they realize that the knowledge that these people possess,
Oh yeah, well that they do.
you know, in terms of healing, in terms of taking care of the environment,
Well, and
so
nobody is better than them in that regard. Taking care of the environment. I mean, that is a major thing in all the different indigenous groups, communities, nations. The environment is like a number one priority for them.
Yeah, because even in the American history, when you think about the Native Americans, how they, you know, use the buffalo,
Yeah,
they don't kill and eat, more than they needed, and they always, leave the land, and even when they're traveling, they only
yeah,
take enough clothing, for food, and so so the buffalo can, reproduce.
yeah. Can
Nowadays,
and last
that's
them
a
a
big
long time.
decline,
Yeah,
right? And they know that maybe there'll be other tribes coming behind them, traveling along that path. So there's always food for everyone and clothing.
mm, yep,
But in nowadays, in our present day society, we tend to want to finish everything,
everything.
because just looking at like the minerals that are around us, the oil or whatever, people know that like fracking or digging for oil can be dangerous to the environment, yet still I want to do it. And we're living in an age of technology where alternative energy source, are present everywhere.
Oh yeah. Yes, ma'am. I realize that. So just log back in. Just log back in. No, it didn't. It didn't come through. Yeah, but our internet gave out. So you can try again. Just move to a different location.
Okay.
So we
Yeah.
just wait a little bit. She said we didn't accept her, but it didn't connect to us.
Okay. Maybe it was like buffering on her side too.
Could be. The countries in the world now need to move a little quicker in this internet thing. One time the Facebook man was planning to give everybody internet,
Okay.
and the man them fight against it. I think Elon must have a similar idea.
But what he's doing is so costly.
No, it's not
Cost the
costly.
consumer a whole lot. I mean, it's costing consumer a whole lot to get on his link.
No,
Satellite
it is his pricing. Him don't have to price him things like that. Remember, say him have the best thing about him using satellite, so him can cover vast areas because the satellite is looking down. So I don't see the thing. Him done rich already. Welcome back, madam. Welcome back.
Okay, let's see if this will work. This will
Yeah,
work,
man.
okay?
Hopefully it will work.
It will. So let me turn the phone around. Right. Okay, here we are.
Yeah, man. So
Thank you. So we beat the technology, okay?
yeah, man. So let's just continue where we were. Burning question is, how will what you are tasked to do help the indigenous world in the Caribbean?
So what's your question, Plebes?
How will your work assist the indigenous people of the Caribbean on an upward trajectory?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question, because what's happening is that we will be present in the world, in the Americas, not just in our own unique patients, you know?
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing, because then we have the opportunity to let the world know what our issues and our challenges are. So, for example, in the Garifuna, as I was saying before you interviewed us, we were voiceless, we were not known.
Yes,
and
I know.
You have certainly helped in promoting and creating such a recognition in the region, you know? So my intention is that through the Organization of American States, it will be a wider platform to get the stories, not just from me, but through me, with the voices of the people themselves. You know, I see myself as a facilitator so that people can speak for themselves, because the past ways of doing things is that people present themselves as experts speaking on behalf of people. I don't intend to do that, because I know that people are capable of speaking their own reality themselves. So my intention will be to open doors where the voices of the people themselves can be heard on this wider platform. What are the issues relating to erosion, the climate change, coastal management, coastal zones, different things relating to disasters? In fact, we as indigenous people know that the disasters came during a certain time period. So our places were in disaster before any natural disaster, you know?
Yeah. So in this position, what kind of resources are they giving you, or have they given you?
Well, to be honest with you, it just happened a few days ago.
Okay.
And so we are going to have our first meeting in a few days. We'll have an informal meeting, and I will then be in a better position to learn what the guidelines and the parameters are. However, I have never been secretive about my calling and call. So they already know what I stand for. So even in the appointment letter, they have indicated that they recognize that I'm a person who listens to my people, and I have been very vocal about the issues. One of acclamation of our land rights, acclamation of who we are as a people without compromise, that we were here before the colonizers, that many of us experienced invasion, we experienced genocide, we experienced appropriation of our knowledge and our wealth and our resources. So I'm sure that they know that that's what I bring to the table, you know? So
Yeah.
Certainly I see this as an opportunity in terms of being specific to the areas and the people, the Maroons, the indigenous Maya, the Garifuna, the Creole, you know, all these people who have for years, we have been trodden on, downtrodden, literally. And we have been very polite and very kind in saying nothing about it. For example, I was at a gathering in Trinidad of the United Maroons and Indigenous Peoples, and the Caribbean Development Bank was there, the representative was there, and I said to him that they're coming to have indigenous conversation in Belize, for example, is wonderful. However, they owe us an apology, They have been doing projects in the country for 40 years, and we were always here. And then all of a sudden now, as much as we appreciate their discovering us like Columbus, they need to say, apologize that we have been disregarded for 40 years in their projects and their programs. We suddenly woke up many days and saw projects and programs in our communities where they did not have any conversation about what we thought about it, you know? So we would like to begin the conversation and the relationship by acknowledging that fact. We also are not interested in just having a one-sided conversation where they speak about what they can do for us. We want to have a conversation where they respect and honor and recognize that indigenous knowledge and practice has contributed to the world. We want them to recognize that they have invaded, not necessarily them directly, but people who work along with them have invaded our lands. We want them to acknowledge and to respect the fact that they're on indigenous land, the Maya land. So every meeting needs to begin with that acknowledgement of that fact, you know? We don't want to be pushed under the carpet and put aside and hidden. Enough hiding.
Yeah, wonderful. But after your meeting, you know, we need to talk again because we need to know, you know, are they giving you an office, giving you communication equipment so you can do a proper job?
Well, I am going to do a proper job. That's not a if, but nor a maybe.
I know.
Because the Organization of America, we have been, as you know, addressing these issues long before this appointment.
Yes.
So I'm just going to continue doing what we have always been doing and thanking them for wanting to participate and be part of our journey.
Yes.
So it's not going to be anything new for me. I just imagine that we have a wider platform, more strength in terms of recognition, more resources, I hope.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Without resources.
I don't know about that part, but I know
Yes.
that we will be expected to travel to Washington, D.C. I don't intend to live in Washington, D.C. because I'm boots on the ground person. I am sure that we'll be able to influence wider stakeholders, you know,
Yeah.
who they have access to. And that's a beautiful thing, because I don't imagine what we had to go through with the United Nations Indigenous Permanent Forum. Well, I won't have to go through that again, I think, where you have to beg to go into the meeting and sign 100 forms and get on so many websites and all that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I will be able to go in much cleaner and freer, and that's very powerful and that's very important. And certainly that's something that I'm going to present in this working group, you know, that how can we overcome this contradiction that indigenous people need to come to New York, United Nations, and places like that to meet, and we have to bring up all kind of credentials and talk with the very people who have given us a hard time to help us to get to a certain point.
Yeah.
So these are the kinds of conversations that I intend to have. I intend to have, which I'm doing already, accessing resources and training and capacity building of our people to be more autonomous and organized in navigating with these kinds of institutions. You know, here in Belize, it is a contradiction that they're talking about blue bond and blue economy, and thousands of dollars are available for that, but that doesn't trickle down into our communities in any kind of meaningful way. So I'm very clear that I am supposed to facilitate accessing of resources to our communities, as well as developing the capacity of our leaders to be able to engage at these levels, you know?
Yes.
I'm very clear as well, like, for example, in talking with the Caribbean Development Bank, that they could assist us or guide us or work with us in developing an indigenous people's bank.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. Yes.
because we have it as a part of our culture. I'm very clear that we can offer and present conversations about health and wellness of our people. You know, the medicinal plants and practices, they were all hijacked from us, so to speak, you know? So how can we have a conversation where when they come into the healers, you know, the indigenous knowledge, that the people who provide information are treated like a United Nations consultant as paid, and that we have a community fund immediately where the community from whence they got information and the resources could benefit. Have our own foundations, have our own institutions, because we're not asking anybody for that. We already have that. We're just going to formalize that. And if they are honorable and respectful, then they would participate with us and work together. That's my intent. And I've never hidden this.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So what's the feedback like now from other indigenous leaders?
Oh, wow, they're all excited. Everybody's excited. And I'm excited too.
I am excited.
Because before I even ask them for help, they're offering to help. So
Yes.
I'm not alone in this position. And I like that because different, very professional and wonderful leaders have offered to help here in Belize and otherwise. So I feel confident that this is going to be a powerful positioning because I'm not working in an insular way by myself. It's a circle of sacred leaders who embrace this as a part of their accomplishment as well, and I will continue to acknowledge and recognize them.
Well, and you know, in the middle of all of that is the Real Stuff podcast, Indigenous Outlook. Your
Yes,
platform.
okay, good. Well, you know, you're the featured first class front seat, you know that, right?
Didn't hear that.
You know, I never forget my people. I never forget from whence I came. I never forget who was there from me and always opening the doors, you know? And of course, in Garifuna, we have a term we say ahari. Ahari is like spirit of our ancestors, our spirit, the divine force that's operating right now, you know? So I am guided through the grace of God to do what is to be done, you know,
Yes.
and in a wonderful and gracious manner, you know, where we acclaim, as you know, we've acclaimed our own university without walls, right?
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
elders who have been giving all this information, the Maya, the Garifuna, the Taino, all these people around the Caribbean and the world have an opportunity and a space through me to get our recognition and presencing in the field of arts and music and, you know, the economic reality that we're facing, the environment, everything. So we're thankful that the Organization of American States is prepared to learn and prepared to listen. And hopefully other entities in the Caribbean will follow suit, you know,
Yes.
CARICOM, Caribbean Development Bank, you know.
Yes.
So I asked the representative from the Caribbean Development Bank, I kind of asked and told him that we need to be at the table of the Caribbean Development Bank, right? We are not about projects and research alone. We are about being at the table to guide the conversation about what the issues need to be. You know, for example, the knowledge of in our songs and stories and culture about the climate change and the environment needs to be present by us for them and for ourselves. That education is not just in the buildings called schools. The drummers and the musicians are telling stories that are very powerful in a different kind of way, using a different kind of methodology. The language of the Garifuna people is not just what comes out of our mouths, but how we conduct ourselves in our sacred spaces, you know? When they're talking about the coastal zone, we, the Garifuna people, are the ones that know where the spots are that the fish come, what time of the day or night, and what time of the year. We know when the turtles come on the seashore. These are some secrets we are willing to share.
Wonderful, wonderful. And
So, Queen Labufa, I just like to say something though, because these kind of organizations, when they are given resources, tend to involve government or the politicians, you know, so you have to be careful. So you have to ensure that the resources come directly to your people, to you, or through you.
We are very clear about
going through that political process. These politicians tend to want to divert it elsewhere.
You are perfectly correct. You are perfectly correct, and we are aware of that. However, our demeanor is that we are the government, first of all, and that even before these colonial structures came about, especially the Garifuna, we had our own form of governing ourselves, right? So you're right, we are setting an example and willing to share the way how we governed ourselves, you know? St. Vincent, we call Yurume, still has the only national hero for St. Vincent, the sovereign king and chief Joseph Chatoyer. That's their national hero, a Garifuna, right?
Okay.
We already have the template, and we thank Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves for recognizing that and his team, that the Garifuna have brought that example not only to the region, but to the world. So for them to choose a Garifuna leader as their national hero is saying a lot. He has set it for us, you know? So we can leverage that, and I tell all our Garifuna men that they are kings, they are chiefs, they are what we call in Garifuna Ebu. And my name has been added to, by the way, not by the way, but I have been given the title Nana Baroda Obaku Isiene recently. And Baroda was the woman of the Garifuna history. There are many powerful women, for example, like Harriet Tubman, who dared to be the voice to change the narrative, the paradigm, and to make a difference. So as Baroda, we as women present our men in their rightful position. So although there's a conversation about men at risk and voice to men and all that, we are claiming in advance a different way of being, of hope, of power. After all, Garifuna were declared masterpiece culture for humanity in 2001. We are walking into that eminence that the United Nations presents us, you know? What is the use of getting that recognition? And I'm saying that to myself as I look in the mirror. What is the use of my getting that position if the communities that I represent and are part of live in a condition that's deplorable? We have to do an upgrade playbill. So next year, 2025, it's an upgrade. We're going to own our own banks, schools, programs, not quarrel or fuss with anybody, but introduce and integrate for them what has been missing in the conversation. here in Belize, the Garifuna are the ones who open schools in all the Maya communities of this country. So we have no excuse for our people to be living in a situation that is below standard. That's our responsibility. We are not beggars. I went to the Maroon community. They're all excited about this appointment. Chief Kasik has already communicated to me, right?
Who's that?
And Charity, Chief Kasik.
Oh, yes.
And he asked me, their attorney wants to speak to me immediately, right?
That's Marcus, yes.
Yes, but I can't remember which one, but I guess all of them. And I sent a message back to them that I am expecting the attorneys of the Caribbean to guide and support me. I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to be guided. This is not a one-woman show.
Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, it's exciting from that perspective because I have the capacity to be used to bring people together. That's my gift. That's my calling. That's my interest. To bring our people together. Stop this nonsense of divisiveness that we ourselves perpetuate, you know?
Oh, yeah. Very, very, very important.
I was told and it's so, everything is in divine order. Because before I even knew about this appointment, one of my colleagues, I want to present him, Alex Colon, he was helping to mobilize a conversation with the Organization of American States. And when we went to visit the representative here in Belize, it was beautiful. He had the Garifuna drum on his table where we met, and they prepared banana cake and coconut water for us. I didn't even know I had this appointment yet, but we were already having a conversation with the Organization of American States about how we could work together, you know?
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so it's all good, Flavius. It's all good.
Wonderful. We would really love to have you come back with the person who is mentioned in that letter.
Of course, that the ambassador.
Yeah, the ambassador. Yeah.
For Belize is in Washington, D.C. Definitely.
Yes.
He's a very progressive gentleman. He is the son of one of the governor generals of Belize, Sir Colville Young, who was my teacher. So obviously he has taught well.
Yes.
And the beautiful thing they did, and I was a bit tentative in the beginning, when the governor general they appointed was a Maya lady, you know, I thought that she would compromise, you know, her situation. However, I have to admit that she has worked very well. She has managed to navigate beautifully, right?
Wonderful.
And I intend to do the same. And called the Ambassador Young is a powerful young man based in Washington, D.C. So definitely, I will take the opportunity to share with you when we meet. And certainly after the informal meeting that we are going to have in a few days, I will let you know how that goes, you know?
Yeah.
I'm serious about your role in all this and your network. Because when a particular young lady heard me speak to your program, she immediately called me. She's a professor. She deals with students, law students in Washington, right? And she asked me, so would you like to really be a part of our work? I said, sure, anything.
Okay.
Then a couple months, because of hearing me on your program,
Okay, wonderful.
He is the one who
Wow.
submitted my name to this expert group. And I had forgotten all about it. It's been months. And then a couple weeks ago, she called. She said, "Have you heard from these people?" I said, "No." And do you know that after we met with the representative from OAS, I didn't go in there by myself. We had a delegation from the Garifuna communities of Hopkins, of Georgetown, of Danbriga, and Punta Gorda. These representatives were with me. And we sang in Garifuna, and for them, that was powerful. And the OAS representative said to us, he said, "You have no idea what you have done for me today."
Mm.
For this, he was so impacted. This time, I didn't know that they had already appointed me to this position. I had no idea. I just went doing what we need to do. So we're about unity, and he also had mentioned to us that there's an international human rights council, right, that he wants us to be involved with. And that is the very council that I'm going to be a part of, connected with.
Okay.
Yes, we had gone to California when Mama G and Brother Kasif had gone to represent some issues for Jamaica, the Maroons and indigenous people.
Yes.
And Garifuna, we were there to support them in California. So it's hand in hand, we look out for each other.
Oh yes.
So you are in the loop, Flavors. You and Courtney.
Well,
Everybody.
we're very happy about that.
Huh?
Thank
We're
you.
very happy about that.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are part of my sacred circle. And I will always present my indigenous family around the world, especially Caribbean.
Yes.
So I feel very happy about this.
Well, I'm very happy for you and happy for us. Because I think this is a big step for indigenous people in the Caribbean.
It is. It is a big step. It is a big step. It is a big step. And let's call on CARICOM and Caribbean Development Bank and University of the West Indies,
yes.
and the University of Belize, and all these universities to take suit.
Oh yes.
And I promise you, Flavius, that I'm going to include young people and children in the conversation.
That is essential. And that is very credible.
And let us recognize and honor the elders too, the ones who have been forgotten, the ones who are not on television, the ones whose voices we have forgotten.
Well, they led the way, so we can't afford to forget them.
That's right. That's right.
They chart the course.
And Flavius, what I like, there's a gentleman from the United Maroons, indigenous people from Africa, right?
Yes.
And he is about showing how we are connected with Africa, and so how we are all connected around the world. So that's going to really be working along with him. What he did was he was looking at how the enslaved came from Sierra Leone and where they landed, and how they're all over Central America. So, of course, we've been doing this research in Belize as well. And it's family by family flavor. So we don't have to have no fancy organization,
Yeah.
You need to come to Belize, Flavors. Waiting for you, right?
Okay, no problem. Yeah, man.
We want to make that happen.
Yes.
And then Marcus Garvey was here. We have to reactivate and restore these different focal points that we have. The land, reclaim the land, have our centers, multi-purpose centers, that vision that Marcus Garvey had.
Yeah.
We have a building in Belize City where Marcus Garvey slept. We have the room where he slept. You know, so
Yeah.
we're not discovering anything new. We have to go back to the things that work economically for our people.
Oh, yes.
There was a gentleman, he owned an island in Belize called Pichaco. You know, so our people have the capacity to be entrepreneurial and think big. You know, indigenous people, Garifuna people, have worked with a lady called Marie Sharp, and her products are all around the world. So why can't we have products like the cassava, like the yams, like the sorrel, all these things that come from our indigenous knowledge? Why can't we do like Bali, where you go immerse yourself in the indigenous experience? People pay thousands of dollars to go there. So our entire communities can be kept in a natural form, where our tourism is one, cultural tourism that brings in people who can be immersed in the beauty of our culture and our resources.
Yes.
Just wonderful, you know, just to think about it.
So you know what we're cooking with gas flavors,
yes.
and I want to say like hundreds of students come from all over the world to Belize, from the United States especially, right? And they pay a lot of money to have this experience. So why can't we as indigenous leaders manage that kind of business for the Caribbean and the world, where people can come and respectfully experience our way of life on our terms?
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, some people have a Garifuna experience, flavors.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, come to Hopkins and we take you, my brother will take you to the shimmering waters and something with the moon. I can't explain it as good as you. Probably I'll have him come on the program and share it with you.
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
Yeah, so beautiful, beautiful spaces we have in Belize, you know, where he was, the place is beautiful like Hawaii, but I say more beautiful than Hawaii, right? But where the waters are crystal and clean and clear. I just listened to our Prime Minister the other day showing off about going into the rainforest and how he was so touched and so moved by the beauty of Belize. I said, well, it sounded just like Columbus too. Seriously. I mean, you know, we are ready to open the door. Neighbors, we are ready to open the door and show you how to make cassava bread. That's a community experience. You know, everybody is engaged, every child, elder, everybody brings our people together around food. And cassava is going to be one of the conduits for bringing us together, because Garifuna, Gari, cassava, people of the cassava, that's what Garifuna is about. And everybody around the world, including Africa, are connected with Gari.
Yeah.
Today when I was in Atlanta and I was introducing myself on this international panel, all the people in the panel were dumbstruck because they did not know such a thing as Garifuna.
Okay.
Cassava is power. Cassava is our essence. Cassava is purity. Cassava is love. So after that, they said they set up a cassava foundation just out of that international body. And Belize will be the focal point, because cassava is our way of life.
Yeah.
And I think that there's one thing that most people don't know, that cassava of the highest fiber content.
Oh yes. Oh
Exactly.
yes. Oh yes.
Exactly. When the prince came, William, soon to be king, I gave him a taste of cassava, right? That was in Hopkins when he came. And he said to me, I understand it is gluten-free. It's very healthy, right? I said, Prince, this is more than healthy. I said, this will last you over a year. You don't have to put it in any fridge. Cassava bread. And he was like, wow. And then I took one of my godsons who he made what you call the shaka out of calabash.
Yeah.
And we gave it to the princess. The young man who made this shaka, his name is Rodney Abela. He's the ambassador, youth ambassador for the Garifuna. And I gave it to her. He gave her as a gift, right? And she was moved, she was touched. I see podcast of her with that shaka in her hand. But I didn't know that shaka came from this young man, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, we can make ourselves very distinctive in the world by these kind of connections, positive connections, you know? So we're gonna bring Jamaica into the cassava festival. We're gonna have next year though, everything cassava. That's what we're calling it, right?
Okay. Wonderful.
Probably next year November. Okay.
Yeah.
Everything cassava. Okay, so I think we've covered many bases, right? I look forward to speaking with you again.
Yeah, man. Definitely.
Definitely will.
Thank you so much. The Remy.
Yes.
Remy.
Thank you very much, Courtney. You want to close off, Courtney?
Yes.
Yes.
Courtney.
So Queen Latifah, we thank you very much. And you
Thank
know
you.
that we appreciate you always being on this program. So
Thank you.
thank you again on behalf of the Real Soft podcast. So just want to close out by saying that we have really enjoyed that discussion, that speech, what you have been talking about, and congratulations also in order, because we may have missed that at the beginning, but I really wanted to do it at the end. Congratulations on your new appointment, and I know that you're going to do a great job. So God bless you. Bye now. Bye for now.
And that means the time has come, right?
Yes.
This is the time now.
No. Yeah.
Okay, then. Thank you.
What's that saying again?
Chuluada. The time has come.
Yeah. What's that saying again in Garifuna?
Chuluada.
Oh yes. Okay. Okay. So we talk.
Later. Okay.
Walk good.
Okay.
Leader song fula. You belong far away away. Ajugwala lebo buseru. Leader mua, leader song fula. Leader mua, leader song fula.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer so rough. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know what set me I think of flee. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi take away me